Assalamu alaikum, it's Melanie from Haute Hijab, and today I am going to answer all of your questions. So recently I asked you to ask me anything on Instagram and Facebook. Anything I don't answer, I will be sure to answer on our blog. Okay, let's get started. So Sumaya676 says, Salam, what did you study in college? I studied in college sociology with minor in English. I was pre-law, and then I went to law school at the same university, Wayne State University in Detroit. My father is from Lebanon and my mom is from the Philippines. They both met in college, very young, in Detroit, and that's how they met. And so yes, I am half Arab and half Asian. Magda Tayyib says, what are your favorite stores to shop at for clothing? So clothing-wise, other than Haute Hijab, of course, I love shopping at J. Crew. J. Crew makes up like half of my wardrobe. I also love shopping at Anthropologie and Madewell, and Club Monaco is another huge favorite of mine. My makeup routine is very, very simple. I don't go overboard with makeup for a lot of reasons, but I have a very extensive concealer routine, that's for sure, because I have really bad under eye circles. I put on eyeliner, curl my eyelashes, sometimes fill in my brows because I'm half Asian, I don't really have eyebrows, and I use blush and lipstick, and that's pretty much it. I mean, it's not exciting. I just don't. When it comes to prayer, throughout the day, I will make wudu, and what comes off, comes off. I really don't reapply makeup. I am an attorney. I work as a law clerk at the DIFC courts here in Dubai, which is basically the International Financial Center. I deal exclusively with common law. I get that question a lot if I do Sharia law, but I do not. And I clerk for 3 of the local judges there. I really started the company with my husband. It was his idea, in fact, because it was positioned to me in such a way that I felt as though it was my calling, to be honest. I felt as though I could really do it and do it well. And the 2 factors that made me convinced, number 1 was the fashion aspect, obviously. I have been fashion obsessed since I was a little kid. And it was actually something I used to make dua about, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would actually remove that from me, because it was something I thought was wrong. I've since changed my opinion on that. I really just love fashion, and there's no way around it. I love dressing and clothing and looking nice, and it's just a passion of mine. I'm sure that hopefully that comes through with what I do. And then second, and apart from the fashion, because that alone wouldn't have done it for me, it was being able to connect with the Muslim youth when it came to hijab, which was also a huge point of interest for me and passion, because I love hijab and I love wearing it, and I always have, alhamdulillah, and God put that love in me. And so the fact that I could take that love for hijab, couple it with fashion, and put something out that would make other Muslim women proud to be muhajjaba or to wear hijab was something I thought I could do and do well. I am from Detroit, Michigan, in the US. I am American, although I live in Dubai currently. I lived in Detroit, grew up there my entire life, until I got married and went to Chicago for 2 years, and then moved out here, and we've been here for the past 3 years and are hoping to return back to the States soon, inshallah. I'm actually going to do a blog post about the pros and cons of living here, because it's a question that a lot of people ask, because there seems to be this opportunity here, and a lot of people are moving out here, and so a lot of Americans back home will just be like, we're thinking about it, what do you think? It's nice short term to come, especially if you have a great opportunity, you're in a central place to travel, it's a cool place to be for a short amount of time, but permanently, not for me. Usually I find that if I'm experiencing an iman low, it's because I have really been preoccupied with dunya. That's, for me, what I find. And so if that's the case, I know that I need to push dunya away, and I need to just kind of step back and assess what it is that got me so preoccupied, that took me away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and my remembrance of Him and my connection to Him, and reassess, you know, okay, if what the culprit is, what I'm going to do about it. If I can't cut it out completely, how can I reduce it? And then really focusing on the remembrance of Allah, going back to strengthening that connection. And so there are certain du'as that I say. What I'll do is either usually early in the morning around tahajjud time or very late at night, I will just sit alone and seclude myself so that it's just me and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I will just sit and repeat those du'as over and over and over again until I can feel it in my core and it's just permeated through my being, and I really mean those words. We're insan, we're forgetful, right? So it's like a constant process of these like highs and lows, and hopefully you can remain someplace in the middle, but you're always going to have these dips. Okay, so Tahreed Barazi, hi Tahreed, she says, what's your all-time favorite lipstick? I would have to say, and I'll show you it right now, my all-time favorite lipstick is by MAC. And it's called Please Me, and it's this really pretty pink color that every time I wear it, I'm like, why don't I wear this more? It just looks really good on medium skin tones. It would look beautiful on you, Tahreed. It's really nice when you pair it with MAC Oak lip liner, which is more of like a beige taupey lip liner with like the pink. It's a nice combo. Hijab in particular was a real point of contention between my mom and myself, but if you follow us on Facebook, you might notice that one of the first likes on any like photo is always my mom. And it's really cute, and she's very, very supportive. So alhamdulillah, we have come a long way. But you know, my mom she was born Catholic and raised Catholic, although she's not extremely religious. But she believes in something, and so I always try and find some sort of common ground. And you know, Islamic principles are so universal, and so it's really having tact in the way that you deal with those who aren't Muslim around you, and knowing how you can relate to them, and things that you know if you tell them they would really resonate with them in a certain way. And so I know my mom, and I know what would affect her in a positive way, and so that's how I try and connect with her. And obviously dua, I mean, there's not a day that goes by that I don't make dua for my mom. Ah, that's such a good question. And you know what? I already know what it is. It's the HH Essential Sound, for sure. For sure. It's a solid, and it's beige, and it's boring, and I love it. And it's perfect for my skin tone, and I wear it all the time. Definitely my concealer, without a doubt. Whichever one you want. Makeup Forever, Bobbi Brown, Marc Jacobs, any concealer. I have a good blog on this actually. It's called 5 Foolproof Ways to Look Fab Every Time You Walk Out the Door, something like that, where I really step by step tell you how I pick out my outfits, which is making sure you have a non-cluttered closet, knowing your style in and out, like knowing right away what works for your body type, just knowing your own personal style, and creating outfits, taking photos of the outfits, referring to those photos when you need to figure out what you're going to wear. And that's really it, and that's how I pick my outfits. Mariam says, do you notice how most of the questions are all about your personal life and none about your professional life? How often do you deal with sexism, and how do you deal with it? To be honest, I don't mind the personal questions because I put myself out there and show you bits and pieces of my personal life, so it's natural that people would be curious about it, so that's okay. But how often do I deal with sexism? You know, I never ever even thought about sexism. Or, I mean, like, if something happened to me, I would never be like, oh, that's because I'm a woman. Until I moved here. Like, I would go to the doctor with my husband. He would just be with me. And the doctor would talk to my husband and not even talk to me. Like, I'm right here. I have the issue. Why would you be talking to my husband? He can't answer the questions for you. I'm the one with the issue. So, subhanAllah, yeah, it's different here. To be honest, I don't get that a ton. Alhamdulillah, I have to say that I'm really free from all of that kind of vindication and just really negative attitudes or comments towards me. I don't know why. It's certainly not because I'm some, you know, perfect hijabi or anything. I'm not sure why, but so no, I don't deal with it a ton, and I don't feel like others judge me for how well I wear hijab. They might be, but I don't get that vibe, to be honest. Role of a fashion blogger helping women to look their best without engaging in the judging behavior. I think that's self-explanatory. We just shouldn't be judging anybody. I mean, listen, on a personal level, we're just not supposed to be judgmental, because I've learned so many times in my life that we just don't know anything. We have no clue the connection that somebody has with Allah. We don't know. Somebody may not be wearing hijab, but they might have a spot in Jannah higher than you. Now, on a professional level, it's different, because I have a responsibility as the head of a company who's putting out an image of hijab and saying that we're a hijabi company for hijab wearing women. You know, like I've said this before, is I've been very particular and intentional about putting the word hijab in our name, because I wanted it to be known that this is a company for hijab wearing women. People inspire me, actually. I'm really inspired by people and their stories and where they come from and why they do the things that they do. I'm just so fascinated by people and societies, and I love to just meet new people and listen to them and hear their stories. Secondly is traveling. I travel a ton, alhamdulillah, and it's not because my business takes me there. It's because I have made the conscious decision to travel and to see this beautiful world and landscape that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created, and these amazing people. And we try and make an effort to travel to majority Muslim countries, because we like to see the different ways that Muslims live. And it's just taught me so much and inspired me so much as far as the way I think and the way I perceive and my perspective on things. It's really a beautiful thing to see that there's really no one way to be a Muslim. I feel like so many times we get this tunnel vision of what a Muslim looks like or should do or can do or can't do. That's a good question, and I think it all depends, and here's how it can help. And what's been really awesome, actually, is the amount of women who have reached out to us who are not Muslim, who are really interested in wearing the headscarf, and it's been so cool. And they've seen you all and all of us and this whole space that exists, and they see so much beauty in it, and something is drawing them towards that head covering. And obviously I believe that's inspiration from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and a spiritual connection they have, but they found this platform that they can kind of relate to and be like, yeah, that's what I want to do. Now here's the downside, when they start reading the comments and all the negativity, and it's so sad that non-Muslims will read this stuff and think like, wow, that is horrible. These people are so harsh to one another, and they claim to be such peaceful people and tolerant people, and they want us to be tolerant of them when they can't even get their own stuff together within their own community. And so that's when I think it can be harmful, when people see that discord and that negativity and just like the viciousness, really, that's when it can reflect poorly on Islam and on Muslims. For the most part, I think that hijab fashion and this whole thing and everything that has happened in the past few years has been really positive. Yeah, are there instances where you see something and you kind of cringe because you're like, oh, we shouldn't be promoting that? Sure, but there's so much more that has been so positive. The job market is not awful. It's hard for any attorney in the US because the market is so saturated. I didn't go to law school to make a ton of money. I really went to work on these issues that I am so passionate about, particularly race. Someone that is born mixed race, I think that those issues of race, you're just more sensitive to them. At least I am. And so that was something for me that I was really passionate about. And that being said, I actually know I have a lot of hijabi friends that are in the corporate legal world and are doing really well. If it's something that you want to do, just do it. I mean, don't worry about whether or not the market is awful, or if the job market is saturated, or if I listened to any of the people who told me that this company I was trying to start was absurd and would never make it, or if I thought about the consequences, I probably wouldn't have done it. But it was something that I wanted, and I just went for it. So if it's your passion and you think it's your calling in life, just do it. If there were any other questions that you didn't get to ask me, or any follow-up questions, feel free to email me. You can email me directly at melanie@HotehIjab.com, or you can comment on Instagram and Facebook. I will see your comment and I will get to it, inshallah. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum.